Hey, namaskar everyone. It's Shorab and I'm back again with a new exciting video on SvelteKit. So we're gonna build a complete application using a SvelteKit. We're not going to use React or Next.js or Remix or Vue or Next anything else. We are going to focus on Svelte and SvelteKit because I guess it is really underrated yet now. However, it's much more performant than Vue and Next.js. Obviously, they have their own pros and cons too, but in this video, we are gonna use SvelteKit. So let me tell you that this is going to be the SvelteKit Svelte 4 with the SvelteKit 2, and Svelte 5 is now release candidate, so it can be used but not production grade. But Svelte 4 is production grade, okay, so you can use it in production. However, we're going to use TypeScript and we are going to demonstrate this entire documentation. We will fail, we will search, and we will implement. Okay, so let's go and create the project here. We're going to use pnpm instead of npm. So let's copy it, and here is a YT crash course. I'm going to create this application inside this directory. So let's run the command. So it's going to be a little bit of laziest kind of thing. That's why I'm going to make it of Gita app and let it complete. And meanwhile, okay, so we need to select few options. So we're gonna use the skeleton project using TypeScript and using ESLint. Let's go for the Gita app directory, which is just created now. The SvelteKit pnpm command, and we're gonna use pnpm install. So it don't take that much time as npm used to take, as the pnpm has its own specialty that it can link, and the packages there already exist on its other projects. Okay, so to run this application we need to use pnpm run dev, and it will give you a well, it's tsconfig. Cannot find tsconfig. Why? Tsconfig.session, it's not there. Reoptimization of dependencies. So I think there's some problem. No. pm install. They're installed. Let's open up our code editor. So tsconfig.session, it's existing here. What was that? So let's open up npm run dev, and it will create and give us a local link for development purposes, and we're gonna open it up in a new tab, so we can see that a initial landing page is here. It's created by Svelte itself. So now we have some key concepts to understand in SvelteKit. That is, we are going to spend our time around 90% writing code inside our source folder, and the static folder is used to place and hold static images like PNG, SVGs, and JPEGs. The routes folder actually it actually create routes for your application, and the lib is it is actually configured inside our svelte config. That lib is something that actually give you a very handy features, like it has a server folder in lib folder. if you create a server, then it's going to be considered the components or whatever you're gonna put inside this folder will be considered as the server thing. Okay, but in this video I'm not gonna do this, but if we need it at some point, we will definitely implement it soon. So the page, let's modify it. I'm gonna use Gita main page. Fine. So see the Gita main page. Now we need a layout here to we also need to understand the parent and children the concept in SvelteKit. If you were from React background or Vue background, I hope you guys know what is children and parent kind of a thing. So it is just like a, I guess, say this is the main page. It is going to be considered as the main page of the default page. If you want to create another route, then okay, let's do it first. Let's create a layout first. To create a layout at this initial root level, and okay, let me clear you something, that this page without any folder, just inside the routes, will be considered as this this route. Okay, this is the main page without any link, the main address. Okay, this is going to be shown here using this page. Now if you want a, this is the parent for now. Okay, so if you want to make a layout which is which will be the new parent for this main slash route. Okay, so layout dot svelte, and here if you're gonna use h on root level slash route layout. Okay, so now you can see this, but where is the page content? It's gone, completely gone, because it became, now this page.svelte became the children, and this svelte layout.svelte is now considered as the parent. So this parent need to show it, right? So the parent will create a slot to show the children. So let's use this slot keyword here. This is given by SvelteKit and svelte. Now you can see it here, it's the main page. So now we have another thing, that styles. The style, it's going to be locked for this file only. It's not going to be affect anything here. Okay, so I'm gonna come here dot or ASON color, it's going to be red. So here you can see this red color is here, but the ASON here is not affected by that. If you, so they are completely separated. Okay, ASON. So let's say we are gonna use, it is similar to the traditional CSS. So heading, let's create a class and color blue, and I'm going to use a class here, and it's going to be here blue. See, this is really cool. Now let's remove it. So now let's create another folder here called chapters. Okay, so this chapters, this is the folder. This is a folder actually. This folder actually created a new route here. So if we click navigate to this localhost, this port and slash chapters, it's saying that 404 not found, because the route has been created, but where is the content inside it? There is no content. content, right? So if you go inside our routing, it has a page. Okay, so let's see what it actually says. A base.spelt component defines a page of your app. It defines a page of your app. By default, pages are rendered both on the server, which is the server-side rendering for the initial request, and in the browser CSR for the subsequent navigation. So this is going to be the this is going to be the main page, and if you create a folder inside a routes folder, then it is going to be create a new route, and the page further inside that new route folder will be considered as the main page of that particular route, which is about. To make it happen, we need to create .page.spelt inside this chapter folder. Make sure inside this chapter folder. It may seem a little bit weird as of now, but in long term it is going to be very easy for you. Let's create a div, and here let's go for h1, and this is going to be the all chapters page. So now if we navigate to here, you can see that all chapter page, and see this is the chapters page. Okay, now let's say if you want to create an about page here, so let's create another folder called about, and I'm just going to open up new folder, new page dot is built here, and let's create it about page. Now if you're gonna navigate to the about, it's going to be about page. That's good. Now let's say we need a chapters. Okay, and this chapter, if we go to the chapter, however, let's create a component here inside lib, and inside this lib just create a new folder, component, my bad, components, and I'm gonna use default neighbor dot ALDE spelt. Okay, so it's a convention to use capitalized word naming in the components of spelt. So let's build a neighbor here, and this neighbor is going to be is going to contain 4 or 3 links. Okay, and let's modify them. First of all, the slash, which is this route, this page and layout. Okay, so this page, and it's going to be named as home, then chapters, and about. Okay, so after that, if you wanna navigate to the chapters, then slash chapters, the name of this route. Then we need to follow the same slash for about, name the folder, need to replicate the folder name here as well. Now to see it above all of our routes, we need to add it to our layout. As you can see that this layout is the parent for this routes folder, so this page is also a children of it, and these two routes folder are also going to be as considered as the children for this layout. So this is the parent layout for all, as it is at the root level of routes folder. So this is going to be the common thing for everyone. So let's remove it from here and import. Before that, I don't want to show you that autocompleted thing from the very beginning, so let's use script tag here. Script, as I'm using TypeScript, I'm gonna specify the name TypeScript, and then I need to import something from the lib here. Okay, so use $lib, and you can see that components are here and default number. Can simply copy this name and just paste it for the slot, as this slot is going to show the contents of these two routes, and also of this page main route as well, main route page as well. So let's use it here. Now you can see that we have these routes in the about page and in the chapter space and in the home page as well. So now it's not required anymore, so we're gonna remove it from here. So let's save it and remove everything from here. Let's say now you want to create a different layout for this chapters folder, which is just need to be available for this chapters route, nothing else. So you just need to create a same layout spelled file inside the chapters directory under this chapter route. So just follow me, layout.lte spelled, and let's create h on where I want to say that chapters layout, so it's going to be inside chapters. Okay, so now if you go chapters, it's just showing you the layout but not the content of chapters. So now this layout is going to be considered as the parent file of this particular chapters route. To show this main content inside this parent, you need to follow the same thing as we were doing before, the slot. Now after specifying this slot inside this svelte layout, which is created under this chapters route, now you can see that same thing is happening, but this chapter is not going to be affect the about page because this about is separated from here. But why this about is using this main root layout, this number? Because you can see that the level of this folder is at the same level with this page.spelt. So for the layout.spelt too. So this layout.spelt is considered as the parent for all of this. Okay, so they are all going to be shown inside this slot. Okay, now let's make another layout for about as well. So let's copy paste it again here. We don't need it, just remove it. I'm gonna use h on, and where I need to go, I need to write something so that we can identify the layout for about. Layout about. Fine. Now you can see that layout about is here. Now let's say we have a authentication too. Let's go and create an auth here. Now this is a auth folder and also a route here. So now we're gonna use auth. Okay, but nothing's found here. 404. Why? Because we didn't specify any page here. Page.spelled and it's on auth page. Now if we go here, auth page, you can see it, but I don't need it. I want something that's something which is interesting. So before that, let's remove this auth and we will use it later. We need to see the nested routing. Let's say this chapter is using this layout and page.svelte. So let's go and navigate to the chapters. Now we need to see something that is the slug. Okay, so under the blog we have slug. This slug can be a dynamic thing. For example, the chapter. So this chapter is going to show us all the chapters, but let's say we need a particular chapter from this page. So we need to create another folder inside this chapter. So it is going to be called as the nested routing. So let's this is the actually it is dynamic route. Okay, so let's say we're going to use chapters and chapter ID. So this is the chapter ID, and if we come here in the chapters, you can see this all pages. Now chapters, after that, if we place on, it's 404 not found, because this hasn't any page.svelte. So let's create on, and now I need to use a script tag here to, not class, it need to be a lang ts to actually get this chapter ID. This chapter ID is coming from directly here. You can see that after chapters I have specified on, which is the chapter ID. It is going to be here, and we need to fetch it. So how? It's simple. We need to demonstrate and see the docs. So we have this export base data. So let's use it. We need to use export let data. Let's specify, declare a type for it, page load. Okay, I guess I need to copy it from here, paste data. Now let's say paste data. Fine. So now let's go and hit H on where we need data dot chapter ID. How we can do it? Simply use it has the title, right? So I need the slug. So from where we can see the slug need to be come here at from the ts base.ts, but we're not going to use it as of now. We need to fetch that content ID, I mean chapter ID. We need to create another file that's going to be responsible for page.server.ts. That's this file is going to be run on the server, as we have specified the server in between page and ts. So use kit load function and page load page server load. And now let's import it. So page server load, and it has a params here. Params. This params will contain a slug. Okay, this slug is here. So in our case, it will be chapter ID. So let's console it or return something from here. Chapter ID, it's object params.chapter ID. See, it's auto completed here. It's actually fetching from here. Now we can make sure that this page.server.ts is at the level of page.svelte inside that chapter ID route or folder. Now let's close all of them and open up this svelte. Okay, here we can see that if we use data, the chapter ID, now you can see it. Let's visit it here. You can see that one is here. Now let's say chapter ID is this, then you can see this chapter ID is 1. If you're just going to say that it is 100, so it's going to be 100. See, the chapter's layout is still here because this layout is going to be the parent for all the files and folders inside the chapters. So this chapter ID is also considered as the children of this layout. If you want another layout for this page, which is the chapter ID, you can surely do it. Let's go layout dot svelte. Okay, now let's go for ace on. Let's make it ace 3 and use chapter ID layout. Okay, and now you can see that chapter ID layout is here, and this is the chapters layout. Okay, now again you need to use slot here to show that page. Now just reload it, it's not showing much thing. Layout.svelte. Okay, what's happening here? I guess spelled the slot. Is that okay? It should. It's there, I guess, but it's not showing somehow for some reasons. Let's reload it, and now it's okay. So it was just having some reloading issues. Now you can see that it's working as usual, but here is a catch. Now let's learn breaking out the layouts. Let's say this layout don't want to be a slave of this parent layout, which is the chapters layout. So I don't want to use this layout for this page. Then this layout can actually avoid this layout of chapters. How you can do it? Just add the right sign at the layout file name which you want to break from the inheritance. Now you can see that the chapter ID layout is here, but the chapter layout is not using here. But you can see that it is using the root layout, as this root layout is here. So it means if you add a @ sign at the suffix of layout page, layout name, then it will actually use avoid all the layouts and use the main parent layout, which is this. Fine. So let's say we don't want this layout here. So how we can do it? Simply let's create another folder called app with this parenthesis. So if you create any folder with this brackets spatially, then it's not going to affect or create any new route. So what it does, just copy all of this and move it to this app. It's all the same, nothing different. Okay, nothing different, just it will use it here, this page. Now if you rerun it, it's the same, but let's move it to here as well. Now you can see everything is working quite well, but the link is missing because this chapter ID is using @ this @ is going to be find a layout inside the routes where we don't have any layout because everything is inside this app folder. So to create a new layout, let's use page dot, not page, it's layout dot svelte. Now you can see this app layout is here and this layout is empty now. We must need to make it empty, but with a slot to show all of this here. Now you can see this is here without showing any default routes. Okay, so that's how you can make a complete blank layout and avoid every layouts. Now let's say if you don't want this, but you want to, well, let's say in chapters, if you don't want to use this chapters but only want to use the app level layout, which is this, then you have the option here in the chapters ID, and just here rename it and name here the app. Now you can see that it is using this. So it is actually identifying the app level layout to use here. That's how it works. It's really amazing. And in this page.server.ts, this load function is used to fetch data. So this is the ID. Now let's it was a dynamic route. Now let's create chapter ID is here. Now I would like to use a verse. This verse is going to be considered as the chapters. Let's come here to chapters and then verse. So this following route is going to create here because we have created a first folder inside the chapters, and to show some content we need to add a page.svelte and need to create a div here is on, and I am verse page. So if we go to chapters and go to the verse, then you can see on the first page, which is using the chapters layout, which is here. Fine. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. This verse layout, verse page can also contain another layout. If you want, you can try it out, but I'm not using it. So this is the breaking the layouts and other things. Now let's go and create an authentication page. So we need our auth where we don't need any page to reflect, but we need to create another route inside it, which is sign up and login. So two kinds of routes are going to be come here, like the address, then /auth as it's inside the routes. This bracket doesn't create any route. If you use this bracket, then it's not going to create any route. It's going to be an empty project folder. Now auth, and this folder is going to be like this. This is the route for login. So let's create a page for it and use a form action, and method is going to be post email. So it's going to be a input type of email, name email, ID email, placeholder example, @gmail.com. We need a password input as well. Password, it's here, and we need a placeholder to enter your, okay, create your password, create your password. So now if we go here in the auth, you won't see anything because auth doesn't have any base folder, right? But login does. So now if you go login, you can see that it's here. Okay, now let's add a button here. It should be a submit type of button. So sign up, or it's a login, right? Login now. So it should be enter your password. In the same form, let's add something here. Is on login now. So now you can see that login now is here, the email field and the password field. Now let's copy it and use it here in the sign up page too. Svelte, paste it out here. Instead of login, let's go for this sign up and use here sign up now and enter your password. So create your password. So now if we go to the sign up, then it's going to be navigate to sign up, as it has the page.svelte too. So I hope it's not going to confuse you for the same name. So now I want to avoid these names, that this layout number. I want to use a different one. So you can also do something like this. This page, if you are going to add a @ here and make it enter, then it's going to avoid all the layouts here, and it's going to be use this layout which has just a slot, nothing else. So let's go for login, as we have done it with the login page. See, it has nothing, but sign up has. So now let's go. I want a layout here specifically for the auth. So I'm gonna create a layout at this level. Svelte. Okay, now this layout will contain this too. To do that, let's make a slot. However, the login won't be using is not going to use this, as we are using page and this @ sign, so it's going to avoid this parent layout as well, and it will still use this layout. So here to see that, let's add it. Auth layout is on auth layout. You can see that auth layout is here, and here is the app level, the app level layout, the number. And if we just go to login, then it's going to avoid this sign up auth layout and that app level layout too. So I don't want it. I just want to use it like auth. Fine. Well, it won't work here. don't work here. So let's remove it. So it's now this is using the auth layout 2 and that app level layout 2. Now let's go and use a @ sign here so that we can break all the layouts, and here we go, we just have the auth layout here. Now let's create another component here for auth navbar dot svelte, where I need to create a nav and a 2, and first one is going to be login, the second one is going to be sign up. These are the names, and the links should be /auth/login, and same for this, but instead of login we need to use sign up. Yeah, oh my bad. Now this need to be added here in this auth level layout. Instead of this auth layout, I'm gonna use auth navbar. I can see that it is using auth navbar. So cool. We'll handle authentication later. Let's go for datafacing. Let's visit here app, and in the chapters we have chapters. So then I would like to go for a deep dive into rapid. So Gita API. I'm gonna go for the Bhagavad Gita API, and I'm going to log out from here as I need complete new API. So I'm gonna sign up. See how it is working? It is using a different layout for auth and different layout for this content. So that is the main thing that we are learning here. So I'm gonna go for the sign up with Google, or let's go for the GitHub for now. I'm using it, and I'm gonna authorize it, and later on I will also delete it too. So after creating it, we need a environment variable here. To use it, let's go and create .env.local, and it's taking a little bit of time, but it's completely okay. Meantime, let's give you another thing, that these chapters will have I need CSS library too. So I need show off. Okay, coding experience, have 5 years plus. How do you plan to use working, learning or teaching? Okay, or personal, to collaborate with the team or rapid. I guess okay. What is your goal today? Learn about what is an API, browse available APIs, use a specific API. Okay, so I am gonna use this. This is not going to be so much important for my end, but it is important for their end as they are going to analyze it. Okay, so let's create it. Organization name Brains, maybe sit free. Okay, developer, invite developer component terms. I don't want it. Okay, so let's go for this. Oh, I don't need this actually. So what I need now, let's search for Gita API and go to this API where we have this. Now let's enable this subscription. So it's going to be activate our subscription here. Skip it. We have got this. We need to JavaScript and fetch. So to make it a little bit beautiful, so we're gonna use Tailwind CSS, and I'm gonna go for get started and go for installation and framework guidance, SvelteKit, and just copy this. I need npm install, then just copy this again, pnpx, then we need this. They are already configured, I guess. In the Tailwind CSS, I guess it's inside the Svelte. Yeah, bit per processor, they are enabled, and Tailwind config, where we need to add this. Just add it, and then it's asking us to create a app.css file where inside source app.css. So we need to collapse all source create app.css and copy paste to this following line here. Then just add this line, this script, in our root layout, which is this in our case. Paste it. Now run this dev, npm dev. Now you can see the styling is a little bit changed here now. Okay, see, that's it. So Tailwind is successfully added here. It's too easy, right? Now let's go and add our components a little bit design here. Class busy blue 500, or let's go for yellow, a little bit brownish, and text white, and I need a container for here. And this container is going to be a flex items center SpaceX3, and it's going to be here. Now we need height of 16. Yes. The container has something here. Center true. So it's going to be center here. That's good. Fine. Okay. Now let's come here. The same thing for this nav as well. Class busy yellow 700, text white. I'm not focusing on the design too much. I know you guys are a better designer than me. Okay. Need a little bit of flex. Temps center and a height of 16. So if you go now, let's add a alt login, and same for this. Sign up. So now we can navigate here. We need a space 6.3 for this. That's okay. Now let's go and add few things here in the layouts. Okay, in the chapter layouts we can see that is happening, but let's add it a little bit of a style. Div and class spanning y5. It has a grid, calls 12. Oops, my bad. And left side. Okay, I know it's a little bit longer. Span 4. Yellow 700 and padding X 10. The color should be here as white, but a little bit slit. And the span, it should be 8. Now if we go to our root and chapters, then this chapters, okay, this side need to be a slot. That's fine. Okay, now we need a little bit of rounded. Yes. Yes, these rounded corners are rounded. Fine. Now, okay, they are not required, so let's go for a shadow. And padding of 5 everywhere. No, they're not looking good. Now let's add a feature that can fetch it. To add it, we need to create a feature for a server component for layout. For the chapters, we need to create here that layout.server.ts, where I need kit load for page load, server page load, and I'm gonna import it, and it has a fetch option inbuilt into it. Let's go here. We need to copy this. Rapid API. We need to copy this and paste it out here inside Gita API key. Yeah, make sure to not leave any blank here. Okay, now let's create a settings here, I guess. Settings, which will have settings.ts. This is going to be a const Gita API key, and that's going to be come from okay, my bad, import this thing from env static private and Gita API key. Let's export it directly from here. Export it directly, and let's const Gita API base API is going to be testing. That's okay. That's it, and no need of that. Gita base API, yeah. Now let's come here. What we can do, we need all the chapters by side, okay? So need a fetch and okay, this fetch is going to get a environment. So Gita API base API, that's going to be like this. For that, get all the chapters, we need this keyword to work here, and we need options. So we need a method to get. What else we need? We need headers. What is going to be the name of this header? This. And key. Now Gita API key. Yes, it's here. Now we also need to specify this thing as well here. Make sure to do it. Now what I need dot then res to res dot json, convert into site as json, and we need then const chapter Gita chapter response. That's how I did. And edit here. I'm gonna first of all, let's console log it. Here you can see it's quite okay. Now we need to return it. Chapter res chapters. Okay, so here we go. Now we can see that sample here, that schema, which is here. We have Response get all chapters, version 2, array, and items required items 8 keys. Items are 4, required this name. Okay, they are the schemas actually, so let's copy it and use ChatGPT, create type, or simply use quick type IO to make some hint of it. Just paste it out. Is this an interfaces only? Okay. What is this? Oh, I got it. So I'm gonna copy this and chapter details. We can add it here, I guess, and these source types. Chapter types.ts, paste it here. I don't need to welcome. It has title type items, I guess. Title type items. It's okay. Now let's use it as chapters. Now let's come here. We can also see if there is any error or not. All of this, then response can be a 422, which is a error. As I don't think so it's going to happen, but let's not cover it here. Well, so let's go and chapters are going to be here. Now let's move here. We need to use a script with language of TypeScript, and we need export let data layout I guess it should be this. Now let's use console.log and use a chapter 2 for this console.log. That chapter is, yeah, that's okay. It's that chapter. Now use a loop here, is loop. Is loop. I need a key to key block. Okay, where data dot Gita chapters, and I is going to be here, and argument, what's that? And the chapter, yeah. Got it. Why it's not working? because it should be an array of it. Array of chapters. Now it should work. Now let's come here and add the chapter names. So li, I guess you will or order list li, where I need item dot title. Now it should give us okay, title. What's that? Okay, name chapter. It has no title, I guess. Items dot title, I guess. Well, let's turn our server error. What happened? Let's have a look. Console.log. There is 0. It says here. Well, but it's showing us completely different things. Why this, man? The example, it should be 0. Schema. These are completely bad thing, man. So I just, my bad. Okay, it all chapters. It was my bad. I need to recreate it again. So this is the chapter, okay. Now let's copy this and paste it here. Now it's okay. Chapters are not here. Okay, now if we use name, it should just give you the name. Yeah. Okay, now let's come here. We need a chapter name translated, I guess. Arjun Vishad Yoga, Shankhi Yoga. You can see that. Now we need the all 18 all the 18 things, 18 chapter names. That's well. Okay, now let's design it. I'm gonna use it here, class, and it has a flex call space y of 3 and padding 3 and bg of white, and it should be rounded. That's well. Okay, so this need to be here. Now it's quite good. add some paddings here for 3. Here we go. Now I think it should be a it should be div and a ref. That's going to be a different matter for some reason. Okay, so they're the chapters, and by default this is going to be the chapter 1 or 2, something like that. It should be here, all the chapter pages. Well, so this is the chapter and chapter ID that can be played really well. Let's come here and add a ID to p dot item dot ID, and this is the ID 1, 2, 3. Now let's go for the particular one thing, that is chapters ID. That's well. Now this is going to be, we don't need this to use this. We need to use the chapters layout too. Okay, what happened actually? It's just need to do a rerun of it, nothing else. Okay, any of this resemblance, any, I don't know what is happening here. Just for that, it's quite hard, right? Okay, now let's come here. If we go chapters ID 1, then it should be reflected here. Okay, now let's use our chapter ID, where we have the params. This ID is going to be useful, very useful. So let's go fetch with fetch, and I'm gonna use database API, and the video is there. Yes, this thing is required. So let's go to the settings, where have the v2. So we don't need any v2, we need this, and v2 is there. So chapter, this thing is gonna happen, and dot then rest is going to be session. Okay, const chapter response. That's it. Okay, now let's go for the sample response. We need to copy it and use it here too. Chapter details, I guess they're the same if I'm not wrong. So let's go to the chapter types. Are the same. ID name translated, yeah, they're the same. Name meaning, okay, just remove it they're the same. So let's go for the chapter, and this ID that need to be params dot chapter ID. The error handling, we will learn it later. Oops. Chapter details. So here we go. Chapter details. This is loading it for the page. Now let's come here. Chapter ID is not available anymore, so you can use chapter details. Chapter details dot name translated. So if we come here, you can see that it's using the undefined name. Okay, as we don't have it, I guess. Let's go and console dot. Oh, my bad. We didn't specify any method here. Method get and headers. The headers need to be same, I think. Yes, the headers need to be same, so we can reuse these headers from here. Copy and paste it. We can import it too. Now if we visit here, it should this. Okay, now let's go and design it. We can use a little bit of div style, class padding 4, h on chapter name. Chapter name is going to be data dot chapter details dot translated, then is for something like that. What we can do, data dot chapter details dot chapter number, okay, text center. I know it's been a long time, but okay, now you can see that it's doing a little bit. Okay, and text to Excel. Text Excel, and we need this to text font bold. Okay, we need it for class padding white too. P data not chapters. So this is it. The layout, we can do it later. So I guess this is good for now. We can start it for next time. We will make it a little bit more better and functional. We'll also use verses as well. So thank you. We will also add authentication into it. So thank you. Goodbye. If you like this video, please hit share hit like, share, and if you have any questions, don't feel free to ask me. Okay, namaskar, goodbye.